Okay.
Yes, so we can see the beautiful Pandav Bhavan and the Shanti Stham behind, the peace tower,
Yeah.
Tower of Peace. And all of you know Sister Gopi very well. I felt that she'll be in the UK, but she's joining very much from India. So it's the same time zone as India. I won't be telling about her biodata because you all know her very well. And she's like an amazing person to speak on anything. So let me just, again, a few lines on her, that listening to her deep and insightful sharing, the soul finds its true nature, which is indeed very caring, so that we can then face life with a daring, putting all the effort without any sparing, like a mother who leaves no stone unturned in her rearing the child. Okay, and a few lines on today's value of confidence. So from today's talk, let's learn the art of how to confide so that this world becomes a better place to reside. And then we can sit on the seat of self-respect and preside so that all our actions become fruitful, the power to decide. We are covering that later after one or 2 weeks. Then there remains nothing from each other in relations to hide, because the Almighty is always guiding me, being on my side, and which then let Maya go away and not take me in its stride. So thank you so much immensely, Sister Gopi, for joining once again. And she's really got a busy schedule from now onwards for many months. So we are really indeed fortunate to have you as always. It's been a long time that you were not able to share with us, but all thanks to the divine being, and thanks once again for being for us. Thank you. Over to you.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Manoj Bhai, for that always very sweet introduction. At first, when I heard of this topic, confidence, I thought, well, what is there to talk about? You know, in its simplest terms, confidence is just repeated action. Anything that's repeated and you attain mastery over it, you become confident in. And yet, when I began probing the subject at a deeper level, I realized its connection with faith and trust, because I identified 3 levels of confidence. You'll have to bear with me. There's a night class announcement going on, but I hope you can still hear me. The first level of confidence I was reflecting on was the level of confidence at a skills level. I mean, we don't consciously think about the skills we have sometimes. We can walk. Walking is a skill. You can talk, give a public lecture. You can move your body in different ways. You know, hatha yoga is a skill. Gymnastics is a skill. Playing a sport. And some of these skills require us to train our bodies in particular ways, to master certain movements. Then there are skills that are related, that are not so obvious, i.e., you don't have an obvious achievement of a physical nature, but you can get success in a task because you know the method for it. So project management, for example, is a second level skill. It's an intelligent skill. And when you learn how to project manage, you can bring order to something. You can eventually see a task to success. And of course, when you get to use that skill in different situations, you get better at using it. Time management is a skill. And I think as a human race, we've started to equip ourselves with different skills. And I kind of sit back and sometimes look at this and think, wow, you mean we've lost the ability to think? We're so far gone that we need to go to a thought management workshop? Or we've lost the ability to use our time in a worthwhile way that we need time management training? I mean, there's an explosion of soft skills on the market. And of course, all these have methodologies that you can adopt. And yet when I drop down below the hard skills and the soft skills to the level of our deep spiritual skill, am I confident in that? So I may be confident in managing my time. I may be confident in project managing something. I may be confident in directing something. I may be confident in my running skills, my swimming skills, my cooking skills, depending on what I've given time and attention to master, because I have a passion for it. But when we get down to the spiritual level, the question is, am I confident in being able to make someone content? Am I confident in being able to become detached when I want, where I want, as I want? Am I confident in my relationship with the divine? Am I confident in my humility? And so confidence takes a very different form because it has more to do with the ease at which I'm able to draw on my inner resources, my virtues and powers in any given situation. And nobody teaches us that until we get a spiritual education. And so how quickly can I let go of something? How quickly can I adjust to something? Am I confident in being able to remain patient in all situations? So confidence is at that level, is the mastery of virtue. Every single virtue. You know, the reality about our lives, and we create many different systems to live our lives, but at some point systems break. I think, I don't know who, there was this wonderful quote about the intuitive mind is a gift and the rational mind is the servant. And we live in a society where the gift is ignored and the servant has been given priority. So we've used our rationality, analysis, our logic to create a structure in our lives. With everything goes according to this method, I'm okay. And then when something happens to challenge that structure, we're left inside feeling very uncertain of our ability to keep going. And this is where I think spiritual self-confidence is an aspect of deeply, if you like, deeply recognizing that inner capacity, my resources inside, and allowing them space to emerge. Because when, and I'm very aware of this, when I'm practicing a hard skill or a soft skill, so this could be learning anything at a physical level, at an intellectual level, I will activate the rational, logical mind. break down the steps. What are the steps? Learn them one by one. It's like learning how to ride a bike. And there'll be a confidence at a rational level because I know how to do this. But when, you don't have a bike anymore and you have to walk somewhere, your own body has to support you. But then sometimes to get to the destination, it's not just physical strength, it's spiritual strength that's needed. So do I have the capacity in me to keep going no matter what? Or do I get tired? Do I want to give up? Do I feel sometimes that I don't have what it takes to see myself through? And I realized that when we enter spiritual self-confidence, the way in which we work internally, it has to be very, very different. Very different. It cannot be analysis. For everything, all your resources are inside the soul. Now, for me, to allow those resources to come out, I first have to just connect with myself. It's like switching the light on, getting the current going, reconnecting with the flow and the ebb of who I am as a soul. And feeling myself very, very deeply. Can I become peaceful now, at will, when I want? And if the answer to that is yes, maybe, but it'll take some time, then we've got a lot more work to do. Because the depth of my self-respect has to be rooted in my ability to be confident in being virtuous, in being powerful, spiritually powerful. And when you've mastered that, let me tell you, you can handle anything. Even if you don't know how to do something, it'll be so easy to apply a rational mind and figure it out. Because 70% of the foundation is the spiritual one. It's the detachment, it's the patience, it's the tolerance, it's the humility. If you are well exercised in all of these areas, you are walking into any situation with good armor. And then, the rational mind is the faithful servant. You'll figure it out. It won't take long. It'll just work it out. It'll become obvious what to do. You will draw people around you that know what to do. I find myself here in India working on environment, health, and hygiene. I mean, I would have never thought in a million years I would be involved in this. This is a huge campus. I mean, there's 3 campuses. There's huge numbers of people coming. The statistics are overwhelming sometimes when you think of what needs to happen. I have no knowledge of waste treatment plants, water treatment plants, plumbing. But I sat down and asked myself, well, what am I confident in? I'm not confident in any technicalities. I have no idea about it. But what am I confident in? I'm confident in the clarity of my intellect. I'm confident in my relationship with Baba, with God, with the divine. I know that when my intellect is clean and clear, I know the difference between my own voice and when I'm touched by the divine, getting guidance. I'm confident in my ability to liaise with those who are more knowledgeable than me and to have the humility to ask for advice. I'm confident in that. There's nothing for me to lose. And I thought, well, it's these things that I'm bringing. And it's these things that are helping something move forward. And then I asked myself the question, well, what do I need to learn? And what I realized that this whole process is making me confident in is the art of detachment. The ability to go into the depth of detail one moment and then remove myself from the web of detail and let myself be free, feel free inside. That's the confidence I'm developing through this whole process. The confidence in being humble, knowing that in any major project, you're never just dealing with statistics and facts and figures, you're dealing with people's hearts and minds and people's own stories. And handling that gracefully requires humility. Am I confident in my humility to be able to handle any type of personality with whatever they come to me with? And I realized that's what I'm learning. I'm becoming confident, and I'm seeing the whole project as a practice ground for strengthening my confidence in being able to be detached, strengthening my confidence to be able to be humble. So it's such a different mindset to be in. And in that space, as I recognize this is a chance for me to gain confidence and mastery in these qualities, I'm kind of in a place that is beyond right and wrong. Because you cannot be confident if you still sustain a polarized mindset. Real self-confidence has no polarity. I'm not confident because I'm right. I'm confident because I am, and I know who I am. And this is where the difference lies between the rational and the spiritual and the intuitive. Because in cultivating spiritual self-confidence, the first thing is connection. And the second thing, which is really important in everything, is detached observation. I cannot allow the intellect to start rationalizing or analyzing. I have to put it in the seat of a detached observer and watch what is happening. And as I watch what is happening, I start to understand what is happening. And as I understand what is happening, there comes a point when when I understand, there is a quality or a virtue in me that says, I can see what is needed now, and I can provide what is needed now. So it's almost like I rest, I sit on the seat of a detached observer, and I have this bank of treasures. But at any given moment in time, unless I've done the work of observation, I can't understand what is truly needed. I will keep projecting my sense of what's right, how something should be, perhaps an internal sense of injustice. So I can never truly be myself in any situation. I project a belief. I project a concept. I project a theory. I project a should be. And the reality
It's okay. We get her back soon. I think she's froze for a minute, right?
So we don't want to lose her now. I'm sure she'll be back. So internet.
Any way to let her know, because maybe she does not know.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
I'll
will
just call her.
know,
Yeah.
but yeah, Manoj Pradhan. we can take our time to reflect on what we heard. Very powerful points that so far.
In the meantime, you can do announcements of the people who want to be a part of our mailing list, Anu sister.
Yes, that's right. So whoever are here, we have a WhatsApp group as well as email group. And in the emails, you receive the invitation of all the programs. Our Values for Life series programs happens every week. There's a workshop, there's a talk by the seniors. As you all know and you're seeing today, it's very, very important how we, gain I think we give time to the reflection of the values we hold within from really the spiritual leaders or who practice spirituality. So it happens every week, one session. So we send the invitations in the emails and WhatsApp. And most importantly, the workshop review material of today's session, we send it in the email. So if you want to be a part of this group so that you can receive our invitations and other materials, please share your contacts, phone numbers and email IDs with either Vidhi or myself or in the everyone in the chat, please.
Maybe just put some easy music while we're waiting.
Sure.
So I think in the meantime, she's supposed to conduct a 4 a.m. meditation tomorrow, so she wanted to go early as it is. So in the meantime, I'll just save this time and do announcements so that when we get her back, we can do maximum utility of hers. And yeah, so please bear with us, some technical glitches. I'll just share the screen and do the quick announcements for the future.
Yeah.
Upcoming events which we have. Yes, so we have already started revising the spiritual wisdom on bliss. We are doing it 21 days, 3 weeks on bliss. 1 week is almost over. And this is in preparation for the upcoming episode with Asha Didi on bliss, Saturday, 23rd July. And we have the fourth power, which was pending since a long time. And it was finally decided that we'll be able to do this July itself, power to decide or judge, by our very dear brother Enrique Simo, who's the national coordinator of PKs in Spain. It will be on the Sunday, 24th July. And as always, the workshop after the talk would be on bliss. And again, we have one of our Vihasa faculty, I must say, she's one of the lead authors for one of our projects, which is Vihasa, the book which we use. We call it the Vihasa Bible. Sister Maureen Goodman, again, all the way joining from UK. So after the talk, so it's on 30th July. And as I said, we are having this 3-week exercise, which we are doing on bliss. So let's explore, as always, we do with the silence retreat on the last Sunday of the month. And it's on 31st July. It's a long month. So we'll be finishing with the silence retreat on bliss. So with this, I would also like to share this elegant calendar, which we'll be sending you in your emails as well. And these are our websites, vihasaindia@gmail.com or vancouver@ca.brahmakumaris.org. And all of you can find the values workshops playlist link here, which is omshanti.tk/workshops. And I think I'll just stop sharing the screen. And is Gopi sister back? Not yet, because she's not picking up the phone as well. So I think, Sister Claudia, we can do some meditation on confidence with you and wind up early today. Is that okay?
To finish? Is that
Yeah,
what?
so because it's
She may
almost,
join.
She's joined?
And no, she may join. I don't know. I'm still hopeful a little bit to wrap up, but I think we can do
In the meantime, we can do some reflection and meditation on confidence with Sister Claudia. And if she joins, well and good. Otherwise, we can, after 5-10 minutes,
I
wind up
think
early.
she's here, Gopi too.
She's here? Okay. That's great.
Is it you, Sister Gopi? You can unmute now.
Yeah, she is. So close.
I'm not sure if it is Gopi sister. Can you switch on your video? It says Gopi 2.
Yeah, I can also see Gopi too as the co-host. So maybe
Yeah,
she's just
there.
getting ready.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
The internet is not good. I want to find
Can
you
you
that we can
hear
spotlight.
me?
We can, but it's
Yes,
very bad
This
bandwidth.
is Pandav Bhavan and the Wi-Fi.
Sister, maybe we can go with
Yeah.
your video off and save some bandwidth and we can listen to you. We can try that.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, it's much better without the video. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you remember what the last thing that I shared was, Manoj Bhai?
Yes, very much. I was taking notes very diligently. So it was, I think you mentioned about two things, connection and detached observation.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So, the whole aspect of our life is that we're developing, especially spiritually, the skill of using our intellect in a pure way. In spiritual terms, we often use this word satopradhan, which is the highest frequency of purity. Anything in its original state, authentic state, in its purest natural state. And then there's the word satoguni, something that draws and absorbs goodness from everything. And so when we are developing spiritual self-confidence, we are learning to, first of all, develop this quality of intellect. Because when the intellect is clean and clear, then all our inner resources can naturally work for us. When the intellect is held by a belief, it's kind of twisted and warped in some ideas, or it's in the bondage of some opinions, then none of your virtues can work for you. Your intellectual argument will work for you, but it may create a debate. But your virtues will not work for you to be able to bring about a transformation of attitude, of awareness in that situation. And I feel this is the biggest difference between becoming confident in a worldly sense. Oh, well, I know how to do many things. And actually, in that state where you know how to do, you can be more of a problem than a hindrance than a help. Because sometimes what people need around you is just a bit of respect, a bit of love, a bit of patience, a listening ear. Maybe they need humility. Maybe they need the power of being detached. And to what extent do I have the ability to transfer virtue? That's very important for me. If I think of Dadi Janki, and I think of the blessings that, she's received from God, one of them definitely was that she could give the cooperation of virtue. She knew how to step in and give and be what was needed at any time. There was a time when there was a brother that had come and he wanted to build a retreat center for brothers. And he'd done the rounds and met many seniors and then eventually ended up with Daddy. And he started his same story. He wanted to build a retreat center in his country for brothers. He wanted a message from Bap Dada. He wanted help from the daddies. And I remember translating for Daddy at that point and thinking, gosh, he's got a long list of demands. And in between, somebody came to just pick up the mic from Daddy's ear and tell her, well, he's got a big story. And Daddy just quietened both of us. And she said, can't you see what I'm doing? I'm making the soul content. Now, for me, that is an art I want to learn. I want to become confident in my capacity to listen to the soul so deeply and to be with God so deeply that in my presence I can make another soul content. So I feel, just take a moment wherever you are right now and just look at yourself in your current role. You could be a doctor, a nurse, a businessman, a wife, a mother, whatever. Just make a list of all the skills you have at that level. You could have loads of skills at that level. You can be confident in many, many things at the level of the role. So just take a moment, just reflect on your role and just make a quick list of everything you're confident in at that level. Okay, now just step in and just look at your relational level, your relationships. And just do a little scan there. Just get a sense of, what am I confident in when I'm interacting in these relationships? I might be confident in my ability to speak. I might be confident in my ability to impart an idea. I might be confident in me being able to listen. So just think about your relational level for a moment. And then, what do you need to strengthen confidence in when you're relating to others? What particular area of your expression do you need to become more confident in or attain a bit more mastery over when you're relating to others? And now just let's go down to the spiritual level. Just think about your relationship with God, with Baba, with the divine. And just feel that relationship for a moment. As a result of that relationship, what kind of confidence has emerged in you?
So I think probably we have lost her again. So maybe Sister Claudia can, it's good we have these three reflections which she took us on, the hard skills, the soft skills, and now the spiritual ones. So maybe Sister Claudia, you can carry on with the meditative reflection on confidence. Is that okay? Thanks.
Om Shanti. Let's take a moment and go deep inside ourselves. This is the time that I receive as a gift to understand myself. Because when I understand myself, I can change, or I can strengthen my confidence, actually, when I am confident of myself, I feel joy. There is contentment. And there is nothing else better than have a life of happiness. I do not need to ask for anything. I just need to be. I know who I am. I know who is guiding me. I know how I can do the best for myself and for humanity. I have confidence in myself. I have confidence in my job, my work, in my relationship. So I can detach and observe everyone acting as actors in this drama of life. And if it is needed, I can help. But most of the time, just be and give the strength is what I need to do. I use the power to decide when I am a detached observer. I look for a pure state of mind without questioning or asking for anything. Because I know who I am. Today, I am going to reflect and see where are my strengths, where do I need to improve and bring happiness to my life and to the life of others who are around me, and spreading those vibrations to the world. Om Shanti.
So thank you so much, Sister Claudia, for this wonderful reflection and for pitching in at the right moment. And apparently we have Sister Gopi who's joining us from the phone. I've just called her, and luckily I think we, so Sister Gopi, if you can, yeah, she'll be sharing with you all something for the next one.
Could I know the name? Okay. Can you unmute yourself, because I have to make her co-host?
No,
What is the
she's on the phone with me, Anu sister.
Okay,
She's
got it.
on the phone, yeah, sorry. Yeah,
That
so
makes
Gopi,
sense.
Can you hear me?
yeah, can you all, can you all hear her? She spoke something.
I think very well. That's a great idea. We'll put the slide on the screen and let's listen to Sister Go.
So it's fine. She can just speak. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you very clearly. Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank Claudia for that small reflection. I heard the tail end of it, and it made me realize how important it is to keep the intellect soft. And when we meditate, there's such a beautiful softness that takes over the intellect. And when we meditate, we put ourselves under the canopy of God's grace. And when the intellect, for me, it's all about the pose of the intellect. Am I facing outward? Am I facing inward? Or am I facing upward? Because whichever direction I'm facing determines the influence of energy on me at that moment. And I feel how important in developing, a hard skills, confidence, learning a skill in art, very easy. But to stay under the canopy of God's grace and to allow my intellect to become so refined and so clean that in any moment it can take on the pose of humility when needed, bow down when needed, remain patient when needed, merge something when needed, remain loving when needed, pick up virtue when needed. And I feel it's the quality of intellect that allows us to develop true spiritual self-confidence. Because sometimes we perceive things through our intellect, but we don't realize which quality of intellect we are perceiving things through. So when you have Sato Pradhan energy, that energy is very clean, it's consistent, it's illuminating, it's light, it picks up good from everything, Sato quality. when the intellect is Rajoguni. It's a wandering intellect. It's an intellect that needs to move. Motion is the energy of Rajo. Doubt, bit of fluctuation, question, analysis. And sometimes from that space, we try to attempt to bring resolution, and it's not possible. Until you shift your intellect out of that place into being Satoguni, Satopradhan, only then can a lasting solution emerge. And you can be a co-creator in renewing something, because your intellect and your perception support the transformation. And then, of course, the Tamo intellect. And that intellect is inertia. That's the energy of it. It gets stuck in something. It can't move. Hopelessness, disheartenment, of course, negativity. And so, when whatever I'm involved in, it doesn't matter, because this is a jungle of thorns right now. And we can't blame a thorn for pricking us. That's their job. But what we can do is refine the quality and upgrade the quality of our intellect to such a point that we get really good at recognizing diamonds in the dust. We get really good at staying light in the intellect, being able to put a full stop and move on. We get really good in being consistent, far-sighted. And once we develop that capacity of intellect, then our ability to remain spiritually confident in all situations jumps up. When I think of Daddy didn't even have an education. He only studied up to 3rd standard. And yet here she is at the end of her life, the chief of the Brahma Kumaris, but sees herself as a world mother and has the deep spiritual self-confidence to bring souls close to truth, their elevated truth, and to bring souls close to God. So I'd like to stop there. And these are my closing remarks, is to really put myself in that place of being a detached observer. Allow the intellect to stay in the company of God under the graceful canopy of God's vision. And then to observe and understand from that place. And then a very different quality of response will emerge. And once I get good at that, I will be undefeatable. Om Shanti.
So thank you so much, wonderful Sister Gopi, for your sharings despite the technical glitches. And thank you also, Sister Claudia, for pitching in at the right moment for the reflection of those 3 things which Sister Gopi covered. And I think Sister Gopi also has to conduct a very early morning meditation tomorrow for one of the Asian parts of the world, I think. So I would request Sister Gopi just to be a few more moments, and I would ask Dr. Ashok Mehta to please propose the vote of thanks. Sister Gopi, over to you, Dr. Mehta.
It's been a pleasure to listen to Gopi Ben with all the technical problems. Still, the confidence with which she talked on the confidence was absolutely marvelous. Basically, she took us from how to be Satoguni from all angles, become the most confident in your dealings with the skills that we need to develop. I suppose, though interrupted, this has been a great experience listening to Gopi Ben as usual. Only thing is we couldn't see it sometime during the talk. I think we had to visualize her. She handled the situation with tremendous confidence. Thank you, Gopi Ben, for giving this beautiful class under very, very difficult circumstances. Om Shanti.
Ashok, thank you very much. It's always lovely to hear from you. And I too can visualize you in front of me. Thank you.
Om Shanti.
Thank you so much. So thank you both of you. And that's the power of, I think, intangible, subtle things which both of you are displaying and portraying here. So thank you once again, all of you. And I think Sister Gopi, you have to leave now for morning meditation tomorrow. So we can say
thank you very much, Manoj Bhai.
Thanks a lot once
Thank
again.
you, Sister Anu. Thank you to Claudia. And especially thank you to everyone who's online and were practicing the power of patience as I was deftly adjusting to the situation today. So let's take a few moments in quiet reflection and just allow yourself to let go of everything else from your mind. Feel who you are inside. That serene, peaceful, subtle being, the soul. And as you feel yourself inside, just let yourself, all your inner faculties, completely become soft. The mind quietens, the intellect softens. And in this silence, allow yourself to be in God's vision, in Baba's vision. There is something deep inside the soul that even God was attracted to. There is a precious diamond there. Let me rest in this awareness, being held in God's vision and of my own value as a diamond. I take the seat of a detached observer, resting in the canopy of God's vision and love. And I'm ready to face anything. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you, Gopi Ben, for all your effort you made it. Thank you very much. We really like it. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to also thank you because it was really a practical experience. I'm sure we all will never forget the confidence and that spiritual awakening that Gopi sister still took us through with all this technical difficulties. So photograph without Gopi sister, I'm not sure, but we can still take one. and maybe you can put Gopi sisters that picture and create it. So you can switch on your videos. Let's make it truly memorable.
Go because she's getting late. As it
Yes.
is.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you
Manoj.
so much, Sister Gopi.
Good night.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thank you. Om Shanti. Yes,
And thank you to all the translators and the whole team behind that makes this program possible every week. Honestly, it's not possible without that. So, yes, is it okay? Manoj brother will take a picture. Everyone? More? We see more videos opening up. So that's great. Thank you, everyone. It was really special today. And that's good you thought of that through phone, Brother Manoj, so that we could hear, because it was really powerful sharing. So at least we got a clue.
Sister Gopi was highly confident to do it through that. It was her idea, which is great. Thanks to Baba. Thanks to the Divine Being. Thanks to all of you all for bearing with us. Life teaches us a lot through all these sessions. Thanks.
Again. Bye now.